like to remind everyone to please turn off their videos and microphones as we are about to start the new videos. For the last time, I would like to remind everyone to please turn off their videos and microphones as we are about to start our
Good afternoon, everyone. The fourth-year students of Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering welcomes you to this webinar entitled Elucedate, Journeying the Realm of Civil Engineering, Day 2 of the Technical and Water Resources Engineering.
I am Leonard Fontanilla.
And I am Janelle Sinajo, your Master of Ceremony for today's webinar.
We are delighted to welcome you to this fantastic opportunity to encourage, motivate, and inspire as we continue on our path to achieve our goals. Before we proceed to our program, I would like to greet everyone a warm welcome because
Hello again, everyone. So we would like to introduce ourselves, our MC for today. So I am Janelle Sinajo.
And I am Paul Leonard Fontanilla, your master ceremony for today's webinar. So before we proceed to our program, I would like to greet everyone a warm welcome, lalo na sa mga taong naglaan ng oras para sa araw na to. And we expect everyone to learn because yung mga speaker na kinuha natin ay from the best of the best. Tama ba, partner?
Tama, partner.
So yan, first, allow us to read the house rule for today's webinar.
Please be aware of the proper Zoom etiquette to avoid unnecessary disruptions during the event. Display of improper conduct will result from the removal from the session.
Turning on your microphones and video is highly discouraged during the event to avoid disruptions.
Please refrain from sending messages in a chat box while the speaker is presenting to avoid interruptions.
We encourage participants to engage in the webinar activity using our chat box during specified segments.
If disconnected during the event, kindly send a message to one of our ACES officers.
And lastly, every participant is expected to follow our house rules.
Before we proceed to our program, let us first have a prayer followed by our Philippine National Anthem.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Our Heavenly Father, We offer you our thanksgiving. We thank you for everyone gathered here today to walk with you. May we ask you for your blessings and guidance so that the activities set for this undertaking be successful. We ask you to open our eyes to see the wonderful things from this activity. We ask that you open our ears so that we may retain the invaluable knowledge. Open our minds for us to think wisely. Put us with understanding, cooperation, and peace in fulfilling our responsibilities. Open our hearts so that we may receive your everlasting love. And open our spirit so that we may know that you are with us all throughout the day. We ask all this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
And now, to formally welcome us for today's webinar, let us have Dr. Emmanuel Ferrer, our Civil and Allied Department Head, for his welcoming remarks.
Gandang araw po sa lahat. I would like to commend and congratulate the UPT ACES for organizing this webinar series, our distinguished speakers for sharing their time and expertise, and of course, our students for their active participation. Despite the challenges of pandemic, we still pursue learning and finding ways to develop ourselves to become more well-rounded individuals and professionals in the future. The topic today is very timely as well as very important: geotechnical and water resource engineering. Because despite the fact that our world is covered by 75 or 71% water, only 3% is fresh water. And even much lower is those that are easily accessible. And that's only at 1%. So with climate change and pollution due to industrialization as well as rapid urbanization, access to usable or useful water has become more challenging. Furthermore, some infrastructures become more at risk due to stronger typhoons and other climate change-related hazards. This emphasizes that securing our access to safe water is really very important. So with these concerns and with the webinar today, I hope you will be able to gain more understanding and interest in learning or pursuing this field of engineering. So hindi ko na patatagalin. I hope you gain more knowledge and at the same time enjoy while learning in this activity. Thank you and magandang araw po ulit.
Thank you very much, Dr. Emmanuel Ferrer. We are very honored to have you as our welcoming remarks.
And now we are done with our opening remarks and house rule. Let us now proceed with our icebreaker. Gusto niyo ba ng pampagana? Ikaw, partner, gusto mo ba ng pampagana?
Siyempre naman, partner.
Di ba? Sino ba naman di gusto ng pampagana, lalo na kung may cash prize? Partner, magkano ba ang cash prize natin for today's video?
Ang ating cash prize ay tumataginting na 50,000 pesos. Ses.
Yan. Sige, sabihin mo na kung anong title ng ating game.
The title of our first game is Name It to Win It C Edition. Sige partner, basahin mo na ang mechanics ng ating game.
For our first mechanics, all participants are encouraged to join and provide their answers. Set of pictures will be flashed on the screen. Guess the correct words.
Only answers provided after my partner's signal will be counted. Our designated officers will monitor the responses and the bearer of the first correct answer will be announced.
For our prize, each winner will get 50 pesos worth of GCash credit. To claim the prize, winner must provide the following information: full name, year and section, or name of the university and GCash account number by sending message to the Association of Civil Engineering TUP Taguig FB page.
Without any...
Wait lang partner,
Okay,
hindi lang
partner.
pala Technological University of the Philippines Taguig Campus ang nandito. Kasama rin natin dito ang iba't ibang university sa Pilipinas. Ipakilala natin sila.
First off, we have President Ramon Magsaysay, State University.
New Era University,
La Concepcion College,
Marinduque State College,
Cagayan State University Carig Campus,
University of Rizal System Morong Campus,
Romblon State University Main Campus,
Westmead International School,
UEP Lawang Campus,
Universidad de Dagupan,
NU Manila,
Rizal Technological University,
Colegio de Muntinlupa,
Paete Science and Business College,
Pamantasan ng Kabuyao.
and lastly, Adamson University.
Without any further ado, let us start.
So magkakaroon na tayo ng example. For this example, meron tayong dalawang picture as you can see on the screen. With the use of this picture, mag-associate tayo ng words para maulaan na natin kung ano yung tamang sagot. We the MC, magbibigay kami ng clue kung ilan nga ba ang words per set ng picture. Kailangan nyo lang hintayin yung go signal natin before kayo magsagot. Sa tingin nyo, ayan, for example, this first example natin, sa tingin nyo, ano yung word na naka-associate dito? Yan, tama, moving loads. Moving
Yan,
loads
may
nga ba?
mga nagtatype na partner.
Yan, sige nga, tignan natin kung moving loads.
I
Ayan.
guess it's right.
Okay na, congrats na everyone. Let's proceed for the first set of picture.
Okay.
Yan, for the first set of picture, how many words ang meron dito, partner?
Meron tayong 2 words. So, in 3, 2,
2,
1, go! Type na yan, guys. Yan, madami na nagtatype.
Sagot.
Ano ba yung partner? Ano ba yung mga nasa picture? Share it at saka, ano kaya yung
Ano, hindi ko alam eh. Parang ano, burnout?
Oh,
Burnout nga ba?
burnout.
Pwede.
Sige. So, sige, i-reveal na natin ang ating answer. Ayan, sheer stress. So, sino ba ang panalo sa ating first question? Congratulations to Avila Marvin C. from EACC.
Yan, you can get your prize by contacting our community. Now, let's proceed to the second round. Okay, for the second question, partner, ilang words meron dito?
Ayan, meron tayong 3 words, partner.
3 words. Na, so ready na lahat? In 3, 2, 1.
Go!
Yan, may mga sumasagot.
Ano kaya yan, partner? Ano yung off? Ano yan?
Switch.
Switch? Okay, sige, ang dami na nagtatype.
Dami nga sumasagot, pero parang tama lahat, eh, no?
Oo nga.
Sino kaya nauna?
Sino kaya ang nauna? Sige, let's reveal our answer for this set of pictures. Strength of material.
Sino kaya? Okay.
Ang ating panalo. Let's
Ayun
wait
natin.
sa ating head committee. Ayan. Congratulations to Kim Purungan from TUP Taguig.
You can again claim your prize by contacting our community. Next, let's proceed. Yan, for our third set of picture. Ano nga ba? Ilan ang words na to, partner?
Ayan. Sa ating third question, meron tayong 3 words.
3 words. Yan.
2 words.
Words.
Wala, I mean.
Okay.
Sorry, partner.
Okay lang
sorry.
yan. Yan, now, ready na lahat? In 3, 2, 1, go!
Ayan, partner. Ano kaya yan? Anong guess mo, partner?
Walang partner. Hindi kasi ako nag-aaral during second year.
Katabi ata kita, partner.
Kaya nga.
Joke lang.
Ayan.
So, ayan, may mga sumasagot na from PUP, MSc, RTU. Ayan. So, let's reveal our third question. Hydrostatic pressure.
So, ang nakakuha ng tamang sagot from Rizal Technological University of the Philippines, Rapis Alexander Luis. Okay.
Ayan, congratulations. Our fourth question is, meron tayong ilang words, partner?
Isang word lang, partner.
Isang word
Yan,
lang.
madali, basic. Ready na lahat? In 3, 2, 1.
1, go! Nakakatuwa kasi nag-aantay talaga sila sa signal natin.
Very proper. Siyempre, engineering. Dapat disiplinado. Tama ba, partner?
Tama. So, ayan. Sige lang type, guys. Sayang ng 50 pesos. Pang-load din yan.
Yan. Parang may nakuha na ng tamang sagot. Let's reveal the answer. Let's reveal. Sige, committee. Reveal the answer.
Hydraulics. Favorite mo ba yan, partner?
Siyempre.
Favorite mo?
Oo.
Sino ba nagturo sa atin yan?
Si Engineer Siva.
Ah.
Ay, dito ata tayo nakalahati. Huh? Sige, sabihin na natin kung sino ang nanalo.
Okay, ang ating winner for our fourth question is Gazo John Christian from TUP Taguig.
Okay, let's proceed to the last set of picture.
Ayan, partner. Ilang words ang meron dito?
Ilang words nga ba? 2 words. Ay, 3 pala. 3 words.
Tatlo, partner. Okay lang yan, okay lang.
Okay, ready na ba ang lahat? In 3,
2, 1, go!
Ayan, may nagpapashoutout. Good afternoon, watching from NPC, National Teachers College. From ito, Manuel Angelo Noel. Okay. Yung nakasagot, dami sumasagot, partner. Ayan.
Yan, partner. Sige. I-reveal na natin ang ating answer for our last question sa ating first game. Universal Testing Machine.
Sino nga ba ang nakakuha ng
Congratulations to our fifth winner, Panyeva Josephine from TUP Taguig.
Okay. That's it for our game. First game, icebreaker. Meron pa mga susunod sa mga hindi pa nanalo. May 2 games pa and may parapol pa tayo. Tama ba?
Tama, partner. Congratulations sa lahat ng nanalo. The list of winners will be provided in the chat box by one of our media committee. So stay tuned kasi pwede pa kayong manalo mamaya.
Yeah. Again, to claim the prizes, winner must provide the following information: full name, year and section, name of the university, and GCash account number, which should be sent to the Association of Civil Engineering Students, CUP Taguig FB page. Again, before we proceed for our program, let us now recall the house rule for this webinar.
Please be aware of the proper Zoom etiquette to avoid unnecessary disruptions during the event. Display of improper conduct will result in the removal from the session.
Turning on your microphones and video is highly discouraged during the event to avoid disruptions.
Please refrain from sending messages in our chat box while the speaker is presenting to avoid interruption.
We encourage participants to engage in webinar activities using our chat box during specified segments.
If disconnected during the event, kindly send a message to one of our ACES officers.
And lastly, every participant is expected to follow our house rule.
And now, to officially start this webinar, allow us to introduce to you our very first distinguished resource speaker.
He graduated from Holy Angel University School in the year 2019 with his specialization in civil, construction, and structural. And he is a board passer in civil engineering licensure exam during 2019.
He also worked as a Junior 1 Pilot Test Engineer in Advanced Geotechnical Engineering Services. But before we bring in our first speaker, allow us to play a recorded video from the General Manager in Advanced Geotechnical Engineering Services and supposed to be our speaker for today's webinar. Let's call on Engineer Justine Edward Velocita.
Hi everyone, good morning. This is Justin Tan of Advanced Geotechnical Engineering Services, or we're also known as AGES. Thank you very much for inviting us and letting us share our experiences in the geotechnical engineering field. First of all, I wanted to apologize for not being able to be with you at this time virtually. I hope to make it up to you in your future talks, in your future engagements, if you would still invite us. Engineer Inigo, who is also part of AGES and who has been with us for over a year, would be taking over and sharing his experiences so far in a geotechnical engineering field. I would be, again, doing some of the questions, the pre-sent questions, and I would be trying to answer that in a separate video. Hopefully that helps, and maybe Engineer Inigo can also answer those questions as well from his perspective. And once again, thank you very much for inviting us, and I hope you picked up a few things from us in the geotechnical engineering field.
We are honored to introduce to you one of their very own engineer. Without any further ado, let us give him a round of applause to Engineer Inigo Luis Aguilar Silva.
Hello, hello. Can anyone hear me? Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Nico Silva. I'm a pilot test engineer for AGES. So, on behalf of Engineer Justin Tan, I'm going to speak to you about geotechnical engineering. Well, I have been working with a company for a year now. So, Engineer Dan hopes that my fresh experience will serve as a good example for those of you aspiring to enter the field of geotechnical engineering. So first of all, what's a geotechnical engineer? So geotechnical engineer studies the physical properties of soil and interprets that information and integrates it on the design of foundations and structures. With that said, there's some calculations and design work involved in the field, but the most important field of geotechnical engineering is field work. It's a profession that heavily relies on field work, on competent and honest field work, from drilling your samples down to testing samples. So, poor field procedure means that you would essentially get data that's essentially garbage. And that garbage design could prove potentially hazardous for everyone involved. Hello, excuse me. Sorry about that. So important as a geotechnical engineer that you're competent, you know your technical stuff, pero more important na ang work mo, you take no shortcuts with your work. You're honest and wala. Hello, hello. I'm sorry, I think I'm having technical difficulties on my end. Where was I? Hello, hello. Hello? Okay. Hello. So in geotechnical engineering, as a young starting engineer, most likely you'll be sent on the field. You'll be doing lots of field work. Uh, and on the field, you're gonna come across a lot of people from all different walks of life, from your clients down to your drilling teams, your men. So another subset of geotechnical engineering is pile testing, which I am a part of. I'm a pile test engineer. So what I essentially do is I would go to projects with the foundations and I would test the integrity and capacity of those files. No, that's my specialization in geotechnical engineering. So from what I've experienced when I started this job, I completely had no idea with of what pilot test engineers do. I just learned on the job, and I found it to be very interesting. The job has taken me across the whole country, and I've been testing a lot of projects, very interesting ones. Some even major infrastructure projects that I believe that will benefit the whole country. And it makes me proud that I was part of those projects. And in short, uh, geotechnical engineering, if you choose to pursue it, will be a very gratifying and diverse experience. So without further ado, start. I'd like to end my presentation here and move on with Sir Justin's questions. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for that relevant talk, Engineer Silva. We have learned a lot, especially in geotechnical engineering and
And I'm sure that participants also learned and now ready to ask questions regarding to the topic that has been discussed. Kindly send your queries in the chat box below by first stating your name, section, and the name of the university followed by your question.
But before Engineer Silva entertain your question, once again we would like to play the recorded video of Engineer Tan answering some of your questions from the registration process. But while the video is playing, you may now ask your question in the chat box. Thank you.
So this first question is from Jenny Carr Magbo from Marinduque State College. The question is the field of geotechnical engineering interesting? At what point is it interesting or not interesting? Okay, well, what I can say is that geotechnical engineering is a lot of field work. So if you enjoy going out to the field, getting dirty, being under the sun, and talking to different kinds of people from different backgrounds, then if that's your thing, then I think you would find it interesting. But if that's not your inclination, if your inclination is more on the office side of engineering, where you sit on a desk and run softwares, and don't get me wrong, geotechnical engineering also has that, but geotechnical engineering also has a lot of fieldwork aspect. So yeah, what I can say is that if you enjoy going out to the field, then I think you would find it interesting. And if you going to different places, seeing different people, seeing different environments, then I think you'd find geotechnical engineering interesting. I think that's what you could expect from a geotechnical engineering company. Okay, second question from Vince Christian Hutale from University of Rizal System Morong Campus. The question is, which subject in geotechnical engineering do you regard to be interesting that can make us students be curious and eager to learn more about it? Okay, I feel like this half depends on the teacher on how to make it interesting, and half depends on the student on how eager and how willing they are to learn. But what I can say is that the lab subjects is what will make you appreciate geotechnical engineering. I think going out to the field as well, going on field works or field trips, would make it even more interesting. But in the school system context, I think the lab is the closest thing that you could access to really appreciate geotechnical engineering. Okay, so let's go to the third question from Mark John de los Santos, TUP Taguig. Among all the projects that you had worked on, what is the most interesting and challenging project that you have encountered? Also, as an engineer, what do you think are the qualities that we need to possess as incoming fresh graduates? Okay, so probably each project is challenging and brings a different perspective to you. But for me personally, it would be the bigger projects. It would be the infrastructure projects that would carry on for how many months, for how many years. So this requires sustained excellence in your performance and in your output. I think these are the challenges that we have to face when encountering big infrastructure projects. So personally, that is my answer. So what qualities do we need to possess as incoming fresh graduates? Here's what I can say. The best quality that you can have is a good attitude to encounter whatever it is that you need to face in your job. Okay, from Army Mission. Hi, my name is Army Mission from BETCT1A, and I am one of the aspiring engineers of TUP Taguig. Hi, Army, and it's nice to hear that you're one of the aspiring engineers. Okay, I would like to ask how you managed to overcome the obstacles, challenges that got in your way of becoming an engineer. I would say that having a good mentor really helps you overcome obstacles and challenges because they've been there and they've done that. They probably made mistakes and they can teach you what not to do and as well as what to do. So having a mentor really helps. And can you share with us some of your inspirational, motivational quotes that you believe till this day? This is a very good question, actually. And it would be hard for me just to share one quote because I think I have gathered enough quotes for different contexts. And in the internet, also, there's a lot of quotes that you could search for depending on what context. So it's hard for me, or I'm having difficulty in sharing one specific quote, just because I have so many quotes that has resounded with me in different contexts. One person that I like to listen to is Tony Robbins, so you can go check him out and see what he says and let me know if you also resound with what he says. Okay, another one from Cassandra Kim Makalam Noche from BSCE SEP 1B, also from TUP Taguig. What is the difference between geotechnical to geodetic engineer? If I'm not mistaken, geotechnical deals with the actual study of the physical properties of the soil, while geodetic engineering is more of surveying. Okay, so these are the two differences between the two professions. The words are they sound similar, and most people commonly mistake one for the other. But there's a lot of difference between these two professions. Okay, from Meljun Makarat, BSCE LEP3, TUP Taguig. What are the new trends in geotechnical engineering? I would say that there's new instruments that can be used to monitor the soil in the ground for geotechnical engineering. So I think this is where most of the technological advancement is happening when it comes to geotechnical engineering. Again, these are the soil monitoring instruments. So you can just look that up on the internet and you can learn more about that. There's a lot of materials in the internet, especially now at our age. Knowledge is everywhere. Knowledge is one click away. So if you're interested in that, just look up geotechnical instruments, and these are the toys that you insert on the ground, on the soil, to monitor the movement or to monitor water pressure, things like that. Okay, from Vergel Cañete, BTCT1A, from TUP Taguig as well. What is the importance of geotechnical engineering in the field of construction? Okay, so this question is similar to asking how important is the foundation of a structure. And I think, forgive me for referencing the Bible for those non-Christians here, but there was a passage there saying, correct me if I'm wrong, to build upon a rock. I don't know if anyone is familiar, but there is a statement there somewhere in the Bible. I'm also not so familiar. but it says build upon a rock. So I think that's very important as well for construction, because if you build a very nice and expensive structure but your foundations isn't solid, isn't reliable, then one day you're going to be unsure of whether your structure will still be standing, especially in our country where there's a lot of earthquakes. So I think it's very important. Geotechnical engineering done right is very important. Okay, Hans Araya from BSCE, SEP, 3B, TUP, Taguig. What is the impact of geotechnical engineering in our daily lives? How important is it to our community? This is very similar to the previous question. Again, geotechnical engineering deals mostly with the foundations. And so, obviously, the foundations of the structure is what carries the entire structure. So it's very important that you do your geotechnical engineering properly, because that's the life of your structure. That's what's carrying your structure. It's your foundations. And having the right foundations starts with proper geotechnical engineering. So how important is it? It's very important. We just don't appreciate or get to see its importance every day, because we don't get to see buildings falling down every day. Knock on wood, I hope that doesn't happen. But there are cases in the past. You could search it actually on YouTube. There's a building in Binondo way back that really toppled over. You could look up that video on the internet. So how important is it? I think if you watch that video, you'd find the importance of proper geotechnical engineering. Okay, another question is from Trisha Kyle Bermejo from TUP Taguig, SEP4B. Have you ever made a mistake in your field of work? Yes, of course, a lot of mistakes, from small mistakes to big mistakes. If yes, can you share with us what happened and how the work was fixed in the end? With the amount of mistakes that I've made, I can't really give you just a specific one. But what I can tell you is how we try to handle mistakes. And that is by facing them on and acknowledging the mistake and facing the consequences. And also letting the person that we've done wrong, letting them know how we're going to avoid these mistakes in the future. Actually give a specific action or give a specific statement on how we would avoid these mistakes. And so yeah, that's what all I can say is to just be honest if you've made the mistake and face the consequences. I think that's the only way how to handle a mistake. Okay, from Ryan Matthew Babon, BSCE, SEP for BTUP Taguig. Have you ever received a negative feedback about the output of your work? If yes, how did you respond during that time? Honestly, I can't remember any negative feedback being sent to us. But that's not to say that we don't make mistakes. Of course, we do make mistakes. Like what I said in the previous question, we just don't get a lot of feedback actually about our work, and we would be appreciate to hear any kind of feedback, because that would be also an insight to how we could improve. Maybe it's in our culture that we don't give direct feedback to the service providers or to the contractors. That's why I can't really remember any negative feedback that I've encountered in the past. But for sure, in the future, if you encounter us and if you have feedbacks about us, please feel free to voice out, because we would be very interested to hear what you have to say. Okay, last question from Kevin Coordinete from BSCE SEP for BTP Taguig. In your years of experience in the field of work, what are the advices or tips that you can share with us? Okay, thinking back to where your context is as students, I feel like it's important to figure out what you want to do, and actually get a good feel of that during your OJT or during your internship. Or if you don't have that program, then try to get on an internship on a company, so that you can figure out what you want and what you don't want. And once you figure out what you want, again, find a mentor who has been there or who is there, so that you can learn from them. And I think that's a very good advice. That's, or maybe that's the best advice I could give in your context, is again, figure out what you want, and once you figure that out, find someone who's there or who has been there and learn from them. That's it.
Go.
Thank you, Engineer Tan, for answering the pre-registration question. And now our very own distinguished speaker is ready to entertain and answer all your questions regarding to the field of geotechnical engineering. Engineer Silva, you may now have the floor.
Hi, engineer.
Hello, Engineer.
Hello.
We have questions from our pre-registration. So from Ethan Carl Batong from TUP Taguig. What is the process and where would you store organic samples from a construction site when inspecting multiple locations? Again, what is the process and where would you store organic samples from a construction site when inspecting multiple locations?
Hello. Regarding the question, where do we store organic samples? Well, those usually go straight to the lab, organic samples. We don't really store them on the field.
Okay, thank you.
It's another question from Jonalyn de los Santos from Marinduque State College. In a certain project, can the geotechnical engineer be blamed in a case of structural failure? Again, in a certain project, can the geotechnical engineer be blamed in a case of structural failure?
Of course, the geotechnical engineer has the liability. Of course, there will be an investigation of which designer may where the fault. Well, essentially the answer is yes. If it would be proven that it was the geotechnical design that was erroneous, of course, we would be liable.
Thank you, engineer. And next question is from Mary Sheen or Shiana Rose Palata from Colegio de Muntinlupa. She asked, when can you say that a specific site is not suited for building structures? Again, when can you say that a specific site is not suited for building structures?
Well, usually after for every project, you're of course going to investigate the properties of your soil. If your drilling work, the samples that the data you obtain for your borehole investigations don't meet the requirements of the specific project, well, you deem that location unsuitable.
Okay, thank you for our last question. From Patricia Ann Santos from Adamson University, rather. What is the salary of a geotechnical engineer in the Philippines? Again, what is the salary of a geotechnical engineer in the Philippines?
Well, that varies greatly. If you're just gonna start as a field engineer, you'd expect you'd be around the average starting salary of an engineer. I wouldn't say it would be high, but it would be just enough.
Okay, so thank you, Engineer Silva, for entertaining the questions given by the participants. I am confident that you have enriched their thoughts, especially by giving your views on the adversities that will be encountered in our chosen career and field of work.
Now, let us now proceed to the awarding of e-certificate.
Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is awarded to Engineer Inigo Luis Aguilar Silva in grateful recognition for sharing invaluable knowledge in the field of geotechnical engineering as a resource speaker on the second day of the two-day webinar organized by fourth-year BSc ECEP students in collaboration with TUPT ACES titled Elucedate, Journeying the Realm of Civil Engineering, held on the 12th of March year 2020.
Given this 12th day of March year 2022, signed by our department head, Dr. Emmanuel Ferrer, our section head, Dr. I. Gaya, ACES advisor, Engineer Jenny Siba, our ACES president, Mr. Reginald Bodegas, the BSc SEP 4A class president, Charmaine Dumayago, and lastly, BSc SEP 4B class president, Wency Valiente.
Let's have our photo opportunity with Engineer Silva. All participants are encouraged to open their cameras and have a dazzling smile.
Okay, open na yung mga cameras. Patingin kami ng mga ngiti nyo. Hello.
Welcome po sa ating participants from other schools.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, smile.
Again, 3, 2, 1, smile.
Okay. One more time. Patingin ng mga ngiti nyo. In 3, 2, 1, smile.
And lastly, 3, 2, 1, smile.
Nice. Okay, before we proceed to our second game, we will have a 5 minutes break. After that, we will proceed again to the program flow for this webinar. Okay, yung mga gusto mag-snacks muna and uminom, you have your time and mag-CR break. We will be back.
Thank you. Now that we are back, let us proceed to our program flow for this webinar. Also, we apologize for the inconvenience as we were experiencing technical difficulties.
Let us now recall the house rule for this webinar.
Please be aware of the proper Zoom etiquette to avoid unnecessary disruptions during the event. Display of improper conduct will result from the removal of the session.
Turning on your microphones and video is highly discouraged during the event to avoid disruptions.
Please refrain from sending messages in our chat box while the speaker is presenting to avoid interruptions.
We encourage participants to engage in webinar activity using our chat box during specified segments.
If disconnected during the event, kindly send a message to one of our ACES officers.
And lastly, every participant is expected to follow our house rules.
So now, let us proceed again to the next segment of our webinar, our second energizer.
Yan, ready na kaya ang lahat para manalo na ng mga 50 pesos?
Yun. So the title of our second game is Sea Quiz, Geotechnical and Water Resources Edition. Sige partner, basahin mo ng mechanics ng ating game.
Again, for our first mechanics, answer the following questions. All participants encouraged to join and provide their answers.
We, the host, will be reading the questions first. Only answers provided after my partner's signal will be counted. Our designated officers will monitor the responses, and the bearer of the first correct answer will be announced.
For our prize, each winner will get 50 pesos worth of GCash credit. To claim the prize, winner must provide the following information: name, year and section, name of the university, and GCash account number by sending a message to Association of Civil Engineering Student TUP Taguig FB page.
Without any further ado, let us start. So, ayan.
So, magbibigay ulit tayo ng example. Tama ba, partner?
Yes, partner. Meron tayong example.
Pwede mo basahin to, partner?
Yes. Who is the father of modern geology?
Yan.
Ayan. Example lang to, guys, ha.
In 3,
2,
1, go! Yan, sige na.
Yan. Ikaw, partner. Kilala mo ba ang father of geology?
Okay.
Ayan, may nagsasagot na. So, i-reveal na natin ang ating answer. Who is the father of modern geology?
It's James Hutton. Okay?
James Hutton. So, let's proceed to our official first game.
Yan. For our first question, water covers approximately blank % of Earth's surface.
Again, water covers approximately blank % of Earth's surface. In 3, 2, 1, go! So yung doon lang namin na go ha, doon lang namin ika-count kung sino ang panalo.
Yes. Sabi sumasagot. Talagang kung if narinig mo kanina yung sinabi ng speaker, opening remarks natin, right?
Tama, tama. Sinabi yan ni Dr. Ter. So sa lahat ng mga nakikinig, ayan, makakakuha ng tamang sagot. So, ano ang answer sa ating first question? 71%. Sige partner, pakibasa.
About 71% of the Earth's surface is water covered and ocean hold about 96.5% of all Earth's water. Grabe, sobrang tubig ng Earth, no?
And congratulations to De La China Gerard from TUP Taguig. Congratulations!
Again, you can contact our committee to claim your prize. Next, let's proceed to the next question.
Okay, next question. What is the name given to the deepest part of the ocean?
Again, what is the name given to the deepest part of the ocean?
In 3, 2, 1, go! Yan.
Challenger Deep, Mariana Trench. Yan, sige. Sagot lang.
Ayan, partner. Ano kaya yan? Deepest part. Ano bang pinakamalalim? Okay, sige. Let's see. Feelings ko daw.
Feelings ko.
Oh, feelings ko. Nice, nice, nice.
May nag-correct pa ng kanyang sagot, Mariana. Okay.
Okay, sige. Let's see. Ano ang answer sa ating second question?
The answer for our second question is Mariana Trench. Read it, partner.
The Mariana Trench or Marianas Trench is located in the western Pacific Ocean, about 200 kilometers east of the Mariana Islands. It is the deepest oceanic trench on Earth. So congratulations to Angel Kristen Malubag from MSC.
Yan, you can contact our committee to claim your prize. Again, let's proceed to the next question.
Our third question is,
What is the hardest known substance?
yan, what is the hardest known
Known
substance? In 3, wala pa,
Two.
wait lang partner, may mga nagsasagot. Wala
Yes.
wala pa.
Okay.
Okay, in 3,
2, 1, go!
Yeah, may mga nag-aabang, mga
Sorbitane? Sorbitane? Ano may sorbitane dyan? Okay.
Ayan, ano ba mga answers dyan?
Puro diamond sila eh. Pero magkakataluhan na lang to kung sino una sumunod dun sa signal natin.
Oo, tama.
Yan.
Ayan, hardest known substance. Ikaw ba, partner, matutuwa kapag binigyan ka ng diamond?
Siyempre, part.
Kasi,
Pwede mo ibenta yun eh. Di
oh,
ba? Hindi din ako nag-aral na civil. Benta ko na lang yun.
kidding aside, so, sige, reveal na natin ang ating answer.
Our answer is
Diamond.
Currently, diamond is regarded to be the hardest known material in the world.
So, congratulations to Reynel Lloyd Enriquez from PUP Manila.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Pakilang question na natin ito, partner. Pangatlo na, no? So, may
Oo.
dalawa pa.
May dalawa pa. So, let's proceed
Hindi pa humabol.
for our fourth question.
Yan. Again, what is the deepest lake in the world?
Again, what is the deepest lake in the world? In 3, 2, 1, go!
Ano nga ba?
Feeling ko parang nagpipigil sila. Yung parang alam na nila yung sagot, tapos hinihintay talaga yung signal natin.
Kaya enter mo na lang yun, no?
Yun!
Dami sumasagot. Lake, ano to? Lake ba ikaw?
Lake Cyrus daw, partner!
Sino yun? Di maganda yan, ha?
Lake. Ayan.
Of zero by how?
Let's see. Tama ba? Deepest lake in the world.
Bigyan pa natin sila ng time. Parang may nakuha na ba ng tamang sagot?
Meron na, partner. Actually, madami na. Hinihintay na lang kung sino ang official winner natin sa ating fourth question. Ayan.
Yan. So,
Lake.
reveal the answer.
Wait lang, partner. May nag-send lang dito. Lake Cuenca daw, partner.
Sino yan?
Si Lake Cuenca.
Romero,
Okay.
Trisha, Kyle. Okay, maganda yan. Tuloy mo yan. Our answer is Lake Baikal. Read it, partner.
Lake Baikal in southern Russia is the world's deepest lake. It is an estimated 5,387 feet deep, and its bottom is approximately 3,893 feet below sea level.
Alin pala, partner.
So, congratulations to Daligin, Princess Diane from PRMSU. Congratulations. Nakakatuwa kasi hindi lang from our school yung nananalo no, and nagpa-participate sa ating game. So, congratulations. And for our last question sa ating second game, which type of rock is
Obsidian.
obsidian?
Yeah.
Igneous, sedimentary, or metamorphic?
Again, which type of rock is obsidian? Igneous, sedimentary, or metamorphic? Sa mga naglalaro ng
Wait lang guys. Wait lang, wala pa.
Wala pa, kalmahan nyo, wala pa yung
Sige,
ikaw
kwenta
na-
ka muna, partner. Kwenta ka muna, bago sila magsagot.
Di ba sa Minecraft nandyan yan? Yung pinaka-hardest part ata ng Minecraft kung sa mga naglalaro dyan. So, reveal na natin. Ay,
In
mag-sig na tayo.
3, 2,
2, 1, go!
Ayun, may nag-aabang din talaga yung iba. Nag-aabang yung iba. Nakakatuwa.
Oo. Tatlo yan. Tatlo yung choices nila for 50 pesos. Di ba? Magsasagot ka lang, magkaka 50 pesos ka.
Okay, okay. So, ang ating answer is,
Igneous rock.
so,
Yeah.
sige partner, pakibasa.
Obsidian rock are igneous rocks that form when lava cools quickly above ground. The result is rock that cooled so fast crystal did not get chance to form. Obsidian is a volcanic glass with a smooth and uniform structure. Matalim rin to yung alam ko eh. Tapos during Stone Age, ito yung ginagamit nila pang mga panghati or pang spear. Ulo
Yun.
ng spear. Yeah.
Ginawa mo ang iyong assignment partner.
Tama.
Okay, sige, let's reveal our winner for this
Last round.
last round. Ay, partner,
Sige
kamusta ang iyong buhay-buhay ngayon? Bago, hindi pa kasi nagsisending committee. So, kwentuhan muna tayo.
Okay naman, pag-graduate na.
Okay. Kamusta ang thesis? Yun na lang. Yun na
Yan
lang.
ang thesis.
Kamusta ang thesis ninyo?
Sa ngayon naman, malapit na. Malapit na kami kunin ni Lord. Na sobrang hirap.
De, pero kaya naman, for sure.
Siyempre kaya yan. Diba? Sino ba naman hindi gusto graduate on time?
Sige, i-reveal na natin kung sinong panalo. Congratulations to Dave Jan Ashley from TUP Taguig.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for all the lucky winners sa ating game. And that is it for our second game. Again, the list of winners will be provided in the chat box by one of our media committee.
To claim the prizes, winner must provide the following information: name, year in section, name of the university, and GCash account number to be sent to Association of Civil Engineering Student, TUP Taguig FB page.
And now, for our next speaker, allow us to introduce to you our second distinguished event speaker.
The next speaker took up his bachelor's degree in Mapua Institute of Technology, master's degree in civil engineering for water resource in University of the Philippines, Diliman. He also took up short courses on small hydropower development in the Netherlands and was scholar in building resilience climate change at the University of United Nations, Tokyo, Japan.
He is a life member of the Philippine Institute of Civil Engineer Manila chapter and currently CEO and president of Berhel Consult Incorporation and a part-time professor at Far Eastern University Institute of Technology.
He also the author of various published research about the trend of water resource in the Philippines and recipient of both local awards in the same field. He also became part of development of various feasibility studies and assessment studies and implemented throughout the country in the same field of specialization. Grabe yung next speaker natin, partner.
Yes,
Dami ng
partner.
ano.
Bigatin siya, partner.
Bigatin talaga.
Ayan, nakikita natin, napapangiti siya sa mga sinasabi natin. So without any further ado, let us give a warm round of applause to Engineer John Manuel B. Berhel.
Thank you, ACES, for the wonderful introduction. So can I start to screen share?
Po engineer.
So nakikita na ba yung screen share ko? Is it moving? Before I proceed, is it moving?
Hindi pa po naka-full screen.
Oh, wait. Yan. How about this one? So is it full screen already?
Yes po.
Okay. So thank you, ACES, for inviting me to be part of your very wonderful conference related to journeying on the realm of the civil engineering, especially in related to water resources. So before I proceed with our topic related to water sources, I want to focus more on what is civil engineering. So I think most of you are already a graduating student here. So of course, first, what is civil engineering? Look around you, you see buildings, roads, You drink clean water and breathe clean air. Civil engineers together with other disciplines make these aspects of everyday life possible. So tayo, on our part, focus tayo dito sa water. Okay, so focus natin, for example, like we drink clean water. So that's one aspect of being a civil engineer. That's why we are able to drink clean water. So as a civil engineer also, we find creative solutions to problems while working on a wide range of local, regional, and global projects. Apply cutting-edge math, science, and technology to make a difference in the world. Of course, lahat tayo, we want to be successful in our profession. So I'm going to share this to you based on my own experience, the rating scale on which it will give much importance on how to become a successful engineer. Of course, the minimal scale will be a graduate from reputable university and a licensed professional engineer. So ito yung isa sa mga the list natin itignan. Why? Because kahit naman saan galing school, as long as maganda ang reputation mo sa company, magiging successful civil engineer ka. Okay? So second, the rating is, of course, you need to continue your development in professional. And of course, you need also to share the knowledge. So why we're going to continue professional development? That's why merong mga seminars you need to attend, even graduate na kayo, you still need to attend seminars for you to update on the basic civil engineering standards. Because, for example, in NSCP, almost every 5 to 10 years, nagbabago siya. Okay? Of course, for the next rating scale is you must have a good transcript of records. Okay? So, ayun yung unang tinitignan kapag mag-a-apply kayo ng work. Good writing and social capability. So, in your school, kapag marami kayong extracurricular, tinitignan din yan. So, for example, yung mga officers dito, and magiging plus points din yan sa mga resume niya. And of course, kailangan mayroon kang good moral. So, baka mamaya meron ka palang may bad reputation ka pala na ginawa sa iyong place. So, kailangan keep this good moral very very important. And of course, ang pinaka-importante sa lahat is you must have a advanced studies. Okay? And of course, work experience in advanced credentials. Because as you go along, tumataas, you gain experience and tumataas yung knowledge mo. So, huwag kayong madismaya if ever in your first, let's say, first 3 years of your career, hindi nag-work out, don't worry. That's why very important sa lahat is yung perseverance. Okay? So, number 1 yan. So, I'm just sharing this to you because for me, this is one element for us to become a successful civil engineers. So, maraming branches ang civil engineering. Although on our side, we are focused on water resources. Okay? Meron din yang environmental, construction planning and management, structural, geotech, and transportation. So before we proceed with this water resources engineering, I just want to focus first on civil engineering, okay, as a whole, so that you have an idea on what does civil engineering do. So these are the paths of being the civil engineering. So you can be engaged in a government, you can be engaged in education, consulting, in an industry, or in construction. So in my case, I am engaged here in number 3 and number 2. So ano naman daw yung government sector? So ito yung mga typical flowchart ng government sector. Okay? So mag-i-start ka as a entry-level engineer up to possible pwede kang maging director. So ano-ano ba tong mga government sector nang related sa civil engineering na pwede nating pasukan. Meron diyang mga DPWH, meron diyang National Irrigation Administration. So ano ba yung government? So the career path shows many of the options available for civil engineers who have chosen a career in the government. Some leave the technical engineering path as they progress and move into government management. At this level, additional leadership, training, and education in public administration or business management is recommended. Whether planning to stay on the technical track or not, government engineers should seek additional training in the area of technical expertise to advance with their organizations. Government engineers are often involved in developing policy and standards for the profession and general public. If hindi naman dyan napunta ang iyong path, pwede ka din naman sa educational sector. Okay? So in my case, I am a part-time professor at FEU Institute of Technology. For academic naman, these civil engineers in academia are involved with teaching the next generation of engineers and developing engineering curriculum that prepares students with the knowledge they need to succeed in their careers. So, ang bottom line dito is, of course, you need to share your knowledge para magkaroon ng new successful civil engineers. So this requires masteral and doctorate in most cases. Engineering educators write students to conduct research aimed at development academic institutions, publishing research findings, and obtaining fundings for your academic institutions are the key elements to success. Additionally, facilitating students' learning and achieving recognition as a top-performing teacher makes this a fulfilling career choice. So for example, kanina narinig ko pinag-uusapan niyo yung thesis. So that's one thing that a professor or a civil engineer educator focuses the students on how to be involved in research, because hindi lang naman mag-i-stop ang research while you are in your nagiging student. Even nag-work na kayo, you will still continue to research. So that's why student pa lang kayo, pinapractice na kayo kung paano mag-research in a proper manner. And next, for consulting sector. So for consulting, it offers a multitude of career opportunities in firms ranging in size from less than 10 people to more than 1,000. At smaller, civil engineers have the opportunity to work numerous relative projects. At larger firms, they have opportunity to focus on specific projects, design expertise, and business management, depending on the core competence of the firm. Whether if a small or large firm, civil engineers in consulting generally start with basic engineering evaluations, computations, and designs, which opens the door to many career paths and flexibility to change the paths if they so choose. So in here, for consulting sector, nandito yung mga designers and then yung mga gumagawa ng mga studies before i-implement sa construction. So in this case, dito ako engaged sa consulting sector. So our firm designs projects based on their needed. And next, in industry sector, in industry, civil engineers work in diverse settings, including manufacturing technology, pharmaceutical, public facilities, and utilities, and many others providing goods and services to the public. They manage large plants, oversee the design, construction of facilities, and obtain critical environmental construction and operating permits. Civil engineers are instrumental in new ventures requiring environmental site assessments, new ventures and feasibility studies. They make significant contributions to decrease cost, increase profits, and produce smaller environmental footprints to developing more efficient process, implementing waste minimization programs, and finding creative solutions to a wide range of issues. So for here, sa industry sector, dito naman yung sa mga large companies na pwede nyo pag-work. Pwede dyan yung mga, for example, DMCI, so civil engineering firm din yon, mega-wide construction companies, and so on. Okay? So anything na related sa civil engineering. And actually, there are more private companies that offer a wide range of civil engineering expertise. And lastly, for the construction sector. So sa construction sector, dito na yung binibuild nila yung mga nasa drawings or yung mga ginawa ng mga consultant. So in construction, civil engineers may work for a contractor to create the build environment, transforming engineering and architectural design drawing from paper to reality. They are involved in projects of every size and complexity, from airports, bridges, tunnels, etc. The core of civil engineering and curriculum provides an excellent foundation for the critical thinking necessity to work in the management, safety, scheduling, estimating, and risk management, and recommend, as construction is hands-on, early field experience, essential to build your career. So in this case, dito naman sa construction sector, kung ma-recall nyo dun sa subject nyo, sa curriculum nyo as a civil engineering student, meron kayong mga OJT. So sa OJT nyo, dito kayo ini-expose sa portion na to. Okay? Doon naman sa consulting firm kanina, if meron kayong mga design subject like theory of structures, steel design, timber design, hydraulics, or lahat ng related na makikita nyo sa board exam, doon yun naman magagamit lahat ng napag-aralan nyo. Okay? So, of course, you need guidelines in order for you to find a career path. First is to develop a long-term vision. Second is have a short-term plan. Because long-term vision is technically suntok sa buwan. So in order to achieve the long-term vision, you must have a series of short-term plan before you achieve a long-term vision. Okay? So walang long-term vision na a week or a month pa lang ma-achieve nyo na. So yung a week or a month na ma-achieve nyo muna is you're going to mapupunta sa short-term plan, and sooner or later yung plans mo is magiging ma-achieve mo na yung long term as long as you're following your short-term plans. So if you know the book of the Atomic Habits, so it explains there that you need to improve yourself 1% of the time always. Okay? So kailangan lagi kang mas improve compared to yesterday. And then sooner or later, magugulat ka na lang, you are completely developed in your career or as a person. Of course, you need to review your career plan annually. So enhance your ability to communicate. Listen to what others have done. So wag magpaka-stubborn. Always listen to the successful people. Find the mentor. So this mentor, it can be anything. It can be your, if you have a good relationship to your thesis advisor or to your other professors or to your parents or to your families and relatives or friends. On my case, because I am involved with in a thesis advisor. So sometimes even tapos na yung role ko as pagiging thesis advisor nila, sometimes they still approach me in their daily life pagdating sa civil engineering path nila. Of course, you need to improve your skills through continuing education. And don't be afraid to change. Change for good, not for bad, of course. And always be willing to take the risk. Because if you don't jump to a into a certain place, you will still remain on that place. So always go to the next step. And challenge yourself always, okay? So ano bang ginagawa ng civil engineering degree? So maraming mga work related dito. So yung pinakamababang work na pwede nating mapasukan as civil engineers are CAD technician, estimator, site engineer, and building control surveyor. Okay? Next, if you want to go to the next level, pwede ka nang maging design engineer, structural engineer, and water engineer. So dito, sa topic natin, magpo-focus tayo dito for water and design engineer. Okay? And then if you want to go to the next level, pwede ka na maging consultant. Okay? And contractor. So ito na yung pinakamataas na pwede mo ma-achieve. Okay? So what does civil engineers do? Of course, civil engineers, we conceive, design, build, supervise, operate, construct, and maintain infrastructure projects and systems in the public and private sectors, including roads, buildings, airport tunnels, etc. So kung mapapansin nyo, ang daming ginagawa ng civil engineers, no? Actually, you don't need to be a master of all. You just need to be a master of a few. Because wala naman talagang jack of all trades, because every person has its own strength and weaknesses. So meron lang din limitations. So for water resources engineering, so dito na tayo mag-start actually. Of course, what is water resources engineering? It is the quantitative study of the hydrologic cycle, the distribution, circulation of water linking the Earth's atmosphere and land oceans. Kung ma-recall nyo yung hydrologic cycle nyo, yung grade 4 science nyo, dun kaya nagkaroon tayo ng water resources engineering because meron tayong hydrologic cycle. Okay? So ano bang ginagawa nila? We manage urban water supply. Okay? We design urban storm water systems, and we also forecast flood. So kung mapapansin nyo, every time na lang na merong mga dikes na ginagawa, so pwede nyong isipin, or mga flood control projects na ginagawa, pwede nyo isipin, ang gumawa nito, isang civil engineer na related sa water resources engineering. Okay? Next, it involves also in the design of new system and equipment that help manage human water resources, which ensures that citizens are provided with a continuous supply of clean, uncontaminated water for drinking, living, and recreational purposes. So, tayo din, as a water resources engineer, tayo din yung bibigay ng malilinis na tubig. Okay? So we are involved with water treatment facilities, underground wells, and natural springs. Isipin nyo, if wala yung civil engineering, paano na related sa water resources, paano na mabubuhay yung community. Okay? So that's very important because water resources engineering is a necessity in the daily living of a human. So it also evaluates budgetary constraints, government regulations, and other factors into consideration when designing this system. Oversee the construction and implementation of these systems to ensure that they are properly assembled, which may include management, operation, and maintenance of these systems. So, kailangan muna natin malaman, kasi kung wala itong mga sources na to, wala ding water resources engineering, okay? So, saan ba nagagaling ang source? Sa groundwater, lakes, rivers, and reservoirs. So, when you say groundwater, that is not the water on the ground. It is way, way, way below the ground, okay? So, ayun yung tinatawag na yung pinaka ilalim na portion ng tubig. Okay? So, based on your subjects before in hydrology, pinakita dyan kung ano yung kung saan nagagaling yung groundwater. Okay? Of course, nagagaling lang yung tubig ulan. And secondly, lakes. So lakes are, kanina naging topic niyo yung mga lakes. Parang pinakita niyo yung ano yung pinakamalaking lake, something. Okay, so it is just a large body of water. Okay. Rivers, of course, ito yung rivers. So ang rivers galing din yan sa underground water. Nagkataon nga lang, this is the lowest portion of the land. Kaya na-expose na yung groundwater dyan. Okay? Part din siya ng groundwater. And reservoirs. So reservoirs are human man-made lake. So bakit nagtatayo ng reservoirs? Of course, there are many purposes to be served. Later, we will be dealing with this. So ano ba yung mga applications natin for water resources? One application, of course, is to give food. Water to food. Okay? So hindi lang taong may kailangan. Pati din yung mga foods, kailangan din ng, or crops. So agriculture, actually 70% of the worldwide water user are nanggagaling are agriculture. Okay? So these are just example of NIA projects. So National Irrigation Administration. So it was built in 1963. Panahon ni Marcos. Ganun nakatagal yung department na to. So they built dams and channels in order for it to divert water para magkaroon ng mga water for the crops. Okay. So because without these systems, limited lang yung mga areas na pwedeng matubigan ng mga crops. So ngayon, since nagkaroon na tayo ng ganito, kahit saang area ka na pwede magtayo ng crops. Okay? Because meron ka ng mga patubig projects. So this one example is a balog-balog multipurpose project. So when you say multipurpose project, hindi lang siya for irrigation. Meron din siyang for hydropower generation. Okay? So that's two purpose. Next, for industrial, which 22% of worldwide water user. So for example, pwede mo rin gamitin yung water for electricity. So we have two kinds of setup in order for us to create a hydropower or hydroelectric power plant. The first one is you will put a dam or a large reservoir. Then you will throw water here or release water from the top and then goes to the bottom. Okay? So meron din dyang turbine involved. So ayun yung nagpo-produce ng hydropower electric. Kung ayaw mo naman ng matataas na dam or artificial reservoir, pwede ka naman gumawa ng mga small dams or water intake. So, ano naman ginagawa nito? Ang pinagkaiba naman nila is malayo yung location. But here, wala ka ganong storage. Lahat lang ng dadaan dito na water is magpapass through dun sa ano. Magpapass through dito sa kanal and then it will go to the turbine. And then the water will flow back again to the river. Okay? So don't worry, hindi naman ito matutuyuan because kasi 10% of the flow is mababalik dito. Okay? And so on. So one example of hydroelectric power plant is in Angat Dam. Okay? Kung mapapansin nyo, Angat Dam, meron siyang around 450 megawatt in terms of hydropower. And then since Angat Dam is a multi-purpose project, hindi lang siya ginagamit for hydropower. Ginagamit din siya for water supply in Metro Manila. Okay? So, in fact, 97% of the supply na iniinom natin dito sa Metro Manila is nanggagaling sa Angat. And for runoff river project, so this is one of our project actually. So kung mapapansin nyo, ito yung source, tapos dinivert namin yung water papunta sa kanal. So makikita nyo, this is the pipe. Okay? So dito yung powerhouse kung saan nag-generate yung kuryente, and then the water will flow back again to the river. So this has been operated for about 3 years already. So around 2019 siya natapos. Another application are the industrial. So meron ditong thermoelectric power plants, so like coal, nuclear, geothermal. So kailangan yan for water cooling. Even solar. So everything, halos lahat ng industry requires water. And of course, sa mga mining, for example, gold mining, silver, and copper, ginagamit yung water for chemical process. And others for manufacturing plant. So ginagamit siya as solvent. For example, food and papers. So aside from that, ginagamit din natin yung water for water supply. Of course, we need safe and potable water. So here in Metro Manila, yung nanggagaling sa Angat Dam are ang nagwa-water treatment sa atin dyan are the Manila Water and Maynilad. Okay? Dati, in history nito, isang ano lang to, hawak to ng MWAS. Ewan ko lang kung narinig ng MWAS before. Or NAWASA. So yung NAWASA, under siya ni government. So nung panahon na ni Cory Aquino, naging private yung naghawak ng operation nito. So doon na napunta yung Manila Water and Maynilad. And up to now, ganyan pa rin yung ginagawang practice. So itong mga planta na to, yung water treatment facilities na to, marami yan. But yung pinakamalaki is nandun sa Balara area, yung malapit sa UP. Okay? So yan. So these are example of the La Mesa watershed system. And others, so ginagamit yung water for recreational. Okay? Usually for tourism and others. For resorts, for water parks, etc. And of course, for flood control. Okay? So ito sa Pilipinas, very critical to. Kasi every year na lang meron tayong nangyayaring flood. Levees, these are just flood controls din. Okay? So pinakita lang din dito na meron tayong mga structures na ginagamit in order for us to control the floods. Okay? So others are storm drainage. So ito yung mga madalas nagbabara every time na lang nagkakaroon ng bagyo sa atin. Okay? Ito kasi ang pinakamahirap ma-maintain kasi it involves discipline din ng community. Okay? So if kayo as a citizen, yung hindi lang pagtatapon dito sa kanal, it will gives a contribution kung paano tayo hindi mababaha in the future. And hopefully sana halos lahat ng community sumunod. So sewerage, that's part of the control of water. And of course, yung sa mga culverts, especially sa mga bridges, okay? And sediment transport. Ito kasi medyo advanced na, pero pinakita ko pa lang din dito kasi you need to understand also na yung mga sediments natin sa river is lahat ng direction niya laging pababa. Okay? So kailangan makontrol din yan. Kasi pag the more ng padami yan, of course, nagiging hindi maganda din sa nakaka-contribute kasi siya ng flood kasi para siya, nakakadagdag siya ng volume doon sa part ng river. So kaya nga meron tayong mga quarrying areas. So what are the importance of water resources engineering? So the limited availability of fresh water. Kung mapapansin nyo, sa water cycle natin, umuulit-ulit lang siya. Pupunta sa earth, i-evaporate ni sun, babalik ulit sa earth pag umulan, and so on. Okay? So limited lang siya. Ang problem natin is nagkakaroon tayo ng increasing water demands and continuing development pressures in flood-prone areas all punctuate the need for well-educated, well-equipped water resources engineers. Water resources engineers fulfill a wide variety of roles in designing and managing water-based systems. So for water resources engineers also includes the planning and management of facilities that are constructed for this task, like making canals for irrigation, sewers, for drainage, and to avoid waterlogging and all other issues related with the usage and control of water. So, napapansin nyo madaming ginagawa yung water resources engineer. Pero actually, konti lang ang mga professionals na related dito. Okay? So, kaya very in-demand projects to. So, major problem relating to water resources are, number one, rising demand. Kasi ang population naman natin globally and even in the Philippines, hindi naman nagdi-decrease. Kahit actually nagkaroon na ng COVID ngayon, tumaas ang death case, pataas pa rin ng pataas ang population ng worldwide or even the Philippines. Of course, the more na maraming population, the more na tumataas ang demand kasi marami ka nang papainumin. Or marami ka rin papakainin kasi yung mga crops natin, you need water and so on. Okay? So rising demand talaga ang number one problem. Next is highly skewed distribution of water on Earth. So yung iba is hindi pa nagagamit ng tama. Or why? Because masyado nating pinopollute yung source ng water. So, and of course, growing population for water supply. As a result of this, many regions in the world are already overusing this resource. Actually, ang Pilipinas is swerte pagdating sa water resources. Kasi rich in water resources ang Pilipinas. Kasi island tayo. But, paano yung mga countries like Africa na limited ang sources? So, kaya nagkakaroon ng big deal in global scale yung pagdating sa water resources. Many areas in the world face water shortage. For example, southern Italy, Spain, Greece, most of the Arab states, India, Taiwan, Japan, Western Australia, Northwestern, and Eastern Africa, mostly African countries. Past Mexico, the Peruvian coast, etc., etc. Southeastern US, groundwater tables are falling at a worrisome rate. So yung iba na dideplete na yung groundwater nila. So polluted water is a dangerous problem kasi with water pollution, of course, hindi mo basta-basta magagamit yung water na yan. Especially for developing countries. So dito kasi nagkakaroon ng scale yung development versus pollution. Kasi the more na nagkakaroon ng development, the more din na tumataas yung pollution. For example, sa cars pa lang, di ba, yung development of cars. Of course, dati mga naglalakad lang, nagkaroon ng mga courses. Na ngayon, gumagamit na tayo ng cars with oil. So ano naman nakapalit na? So nagkakaroon ng pollution. So development causes pollution. As it is major causes of communicative diseases. So developing nation also suffer because they lack the money to create water, storage, and distribution system to reach all the people. So hindi lang kasi basta-basta ka makakapag-develop ng mga water development. Of course, you need a lot of money also in order for you to create a system. So in recent times, it has been said that the next major war will not be over oil, but over water. The need of the day is to manage water resources. So ngayon pa lang, kailangan ma-manage na dapat yung water resources. Okay? Hindi siya dapat um, uh, binabaliwala. Ngayon kasi, sakto ngayon may problem sa war, but this is just only political dispute. But how about if water na yung problem, di ba? Ewan ko lang kung napanood niyo sa Netflix before, yung that's a Korean film. Although may mga zombies involved, but nagpunta sila sa moon, lunar moon something. I forgot the title, basta Korean siya. Baka later alam niyo. Dahil yung Earth, yung story nun, yung Earth kasi nagkaroon ng water scarcity. Okay? So, mga privileged people lang yung nakakainom ng water. So, actually magandang movie yun related to water resources. Kasi pinakita doon yung futuristic problem related to water. So, kung sino yung may control ng water, siya yung may control may control ng Earth. Okay? So, water is a big deal actually. So, paano ba natin ma-manage to? Of course, number one, by increasing water supply. So, pwede tayong mag-store ng mga water sa dams para magamit natin or ma-utilize natin ng maayos. Divert water from excess areas to scarcity areas through linked waterways. Artificial recharging groundwater. Desalinating seawater. And second, by reducing degradation. So, we're going to devise methods for controlling or reducing evaporation losses in irrigation using a better drainage in irrigated agriculture to reduce soil salination. And next, by reducing waste and use. By reducing overall population growth, limiting growth of population in areas of water shortage, devising more efficient industrial process with less use of water controlling waste. So these are the typical feature of water resources engineering. So ito yung mga challenge naman para sa atin or para sa mga future na magiging water resources engineer. First is to modern civilization is far more dependent on water than were the civilization of the past. Modern standards of personal cleanliness require vastly more water that was used a century ago. Increasing population requires expanded acreage of agriculture. Increasing urban population requires more attention to storm drainage, water supply, and sewerage. Industrial progress finds increasing uses for water in process industries and for electric power production. The water resources engineers of the future will find themselves deeply involved with new technology and new concepts. Reclamation of wastewater, weather modification, land management to improve water yield, and new water-saving techniques. The conflict between preserving in our ecosystem and meeting the needs of people for water management must certainly lead to new approaches in water. So, actually, this career path has inherently different benefits. So, pinakita ko lang dito yung for water resources. Actually, you can choose your own career path. So, seek out a career path that best fits your goal and will be most satisfying to you. Enjoy the journey and you will be much happier in the long run. So, kailangan sa career path na pipiliin nyo, if you want to be a water resources engineer, so kailangan you must stick with it. Okay? Kung marirecall niyo yung kasabihan na you reap what you sow, then you will understand that in the future, but not now. So that's why I put this image because if gusto niyong kumita, hindi naman siya napupulot, tinatanim siya. Okay? So that's very important knowledge na pwede niyong matutunan. So my next question to you is, are you ready to be part of the future related to water resources engineering? So thank you, everyone. I hope you gain knowledge in this uh, on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you for that relevant talk, Engineer Verhel. I have learned a lot, especially about the civil engineering path. It shows how many opportunity is open for us future civil engineers. Also, I learned what are the importance of water resources in terms of our agricultural.
And I am sure that the participants also learned from all the details about the topic that has been discussed and are now ready to ask questions regarding the topic. Kindly send your queries in the chat box below by first stating your name and section or the name of the university followed by your question.
Engineer Verhel, some students have already asked questions about water resources engineering during the registration process. Allow me to read you the first question. For our first question, from Theo Geraldo Janji from TUP Taguig, BSc SCB 3B, gaano ka in demand ang water resource engineering sa bansa? Again, gaano ka in demand ang water resources engineering sa ating bansa?
Actually, in demand siya in terms of government sectors and private sectors. Because especially sa government sectors, for example, the NIA, if you can see the required hiring people there, laging merong opening for water resources engineer or practicing water resources. Why? Because konti lang yung nagkakaroon ng interest dito sa water resources. Mostly kasi masyadong nagpo-focus ang civil engineer sa structural engineer. So that is why the demand for water resources engineer mataas because konti lang yung pumapasok.
Okay, thank you, engineer. And the second question is from Roldan Vince Krishan from University of Rizal System, Morong Campus. How important is the water resources subject in civil engineering?
It is very important because in the subject of civil engineering, first nagkakaroon tayo ng awareness kung ano ba yung mga sources here in the Philippines, because without studying it, paano natin malalaman kung ano yung mga possible sources na makukuha natin dito sa buong Pilipinas? So I'm not just saying dito sa Metro Manila. So the problem nationwide. So magkakaroon kayo ng knowledge related kung saan ba maganda kumuha ng tubig, starting from Luzon and starting from at the Mindanao up to Mindanao. So mataas ang wide range of possibilities if you study water resources here in the Philippines. Or even in abroad, actually, ma-apply niyo siya. Pinakita niyo, siguro nakita niyo kanina yung mga bansa na may problem, especially real world problem na talaga. So, ganun din, minsan kumukuha sila ng mga expertise dito sa Philippines para ma-involve sa mga projects nila as a water resources engineer.
Okay, thank you, engineer. Next question is from Batong Ethan Carl from TUP Taguig. Tell us about the most challenging engineering project you've worked on.
Yung kanina kong pinakita. That's why yung hydropower, kasi in designing a hydropower, meron tayong tinatawag na head or elevation, difference in elevation. Yung head elevation nun is nag-start from, that's around 600 meters elevation, difference from top to bottom, from the source up to where you put the water back again to the powerhouse. So, ayun yung pinaka, because Yung mga typical lang na hydropower dito na mga nagagawa, siguro mataas na yung 300, 400, 200. So I think ito na yung pinakamataas na nagawa. And operational, of course.
Okay, thank you po. And then the next question is from De Los Santos Jonaling P. from Marinduque State College. What is the most common problem encountered by a water resources engineer?
Yung recurring problem. For example, sa storm drainage canal. So this is a government problem. Yung tipong kakaayos mo lang nung kanal mo, tapos magugulat ka na naman, barado na naman because of course yung marami kasing involved, yung communities, number one. Kahit anong advocate na pwede nating sabihin na don't put trash in here, pero magugulat ka the next week madami na namang trash dito sa areas na to. So hindi lang kasi related to project yung involved. Kailangan din involve yung mga communities para ma-sustain yung mga functions na pwede nating ma-achieve dun for a certain project.
Okay, thank you.
For our FB Live, question by Paulo Ragindin from Mapua Institute. Is there any technological advancement that would help our water resource to be preserved? Again, is there any technological advancement that would help our water resource to be preserved?
Katulad ng pinakita ko kanina, number one is we need to build dams para ma-store natin yung water. But aside from that, in order for us to preserve, doon pa rin din talaga papasok sa discipline ng community. Kasi with less pollution from the sources mismo ng water, na hindi mo na kailangan. Kasi the more polluted yung water, the more na mas magastos mo siyang linisin. Kasi lahat naman pwedeng malinis eh. But ang next question nun is how much is the cost are you going to put up para malinis mo yung water na yun. So doon pa papasok talaga sa community involvement na hopefully sana maging discipline sila kasi the less na populated, the less pollution yung water, mas madali siya ma-preserve actually. That's why kung mapapansin nyo kanina yung example ko, na country is yung Japan. Problem nila yung water resources na rin. So, ang ginawa din ng mga tao doon, so naging disiplinado sila. That's why yung preservation of water nila mas madali.
Okay, from Baronia, John Ramirez of TUP Taguig. Good afternoon, sir. What are the possible career paths for fresh graduate aspiring to be a water resource engineer? Thank you and God bless. Again, what are the possible career paths for freshman graduate aspiring to be a water resource engineer?
Madami actually. You have 3 options. You can go to a government sector. So maraming nag-o-offer ng water resources engineer doon. Pwede ka ring maging educator in academic or papasok ka as prof. Possible professor in TUP. And next is of course being a consultant. If may knowledge ka na sa mga design and actual projects, pwede ka nang maging consultant in the future. And of course, sa mga industry, yung mga private, kasi yung iba private companies na eh. For example, yung sa Prime Water, di ba private company and they supply water. So yan, they require also water resources engineer. So something like that. So there are different sectors for you to be na mapuntahan.
Okay, thank you po for answering the question. Meron pa pong question from Kaporcos Joshua T. Good day. as a newly licensed civil engineer, how did you manage to make progress in the industry, specifically in the field of water resource engineering and during this pandemic po? Again, good day. As a newly licensed civil engineer, how will you manage to make progress in the industry, specifically in the field of water resources engineering, given this circumstances today or the situation during this pandemic?
My advice to everyone, hindi lang para sa kanya, is to take small steps. Kaya kung napansin niyo yung guide ko kanina, make a short-term plan. Because if you don't achieve your short-term plan, yeah, you will not achieve your long-term plan. So first is taking small steps. So number one is when I graduated, nag-start ako sa industry ng consultant. So doon ako natuto mag-design and so on. And then the same time, tinuloy ko yung advanced studies ko. So I took my masteral degree also. So when I obtained yung masteral degree, doon na ako nag-start na makapag part-time teaching. But hindi ko pa rin iniwan yung full-time work ko. And then until I achieve what I am now today, because I'm taking small step at a time until I achieve my long-term plan. And persevere also. Persevere. That's number one talaga. There are times na, especially in masteral thesis, kanina napag-usapan nyo nga yung thesis. Sa masteral thesis, of course, mas mahirap. And so alam mo lang na gagawin kasi sa college level, group thesis siya. There are times na sobrang gumibop na ako. So, but since nag-focus ako and then I put my mindset na I need to persevere, and then luckily na natapos ko naman siya. And that's why I'm sharing my experiences to everyone. Na persevere always, okay? Huwag palipat-lipat. Focus on your goal.
Okay, for our last question, good afternoon po, sir. How do you handle the ecosystem that was destroyed during the construction of dam or any structures involving water resource po?
For ecosystem naman, related, kasi actually in every project, hindi lang naman basta dam projects, meron tayo tinatawag na ECC or EIA. For dam kasi EIA. So what is ECC or EIA? So it is environmental compliance, or for EIA naman, environmental impact assessment. Kahit hindi yan dam or dam yan, merong ganon na requirement. So meron na namang dyan mga mitigations na mga dapat gawin. So actually any projects kahit dam, meron na siyang mga mitigations on paano gawin. So one mitigation dyan is, of course, maraming malulunod na forest. So magkakaroon dyan ng reforestation. Okay? Dyan sa mga areas na yan. Aside from that is magkakaroon ng watershed management protection. So doon sa mismong portion ng dam na yan, bawal magkaroon ng pollution. And secondly, yung meron na rin din kasing mga technology na ginagamit ngayon na friendly sa mga fish. So, dun sa mga dam na yun, meron tayo tinatawag na fish pass. So, part yun ng design na kasi yung ecosystem nga is laging kinoconsider yan sa mga design.
Thank you for answering that question. For the next question, from Randel Diraya of NU Manila. Good afternoon, engineer. I am graduating CE student specialized in water resource engineering. I want to ask, saan po better mag-OJT or intern? Government sector or private company?
Actually, either of the two. Maganda naman ang ano natin sa government mga programs pagdating sa water resources. And sa private companies naman, maganda din. It depends na lang kung anong klaseng company firm yan na papasukan mo. Kasi, of course, hindi naman lahat ng company is pare-parehas yung policy. So, it really depends on the private policy of that company. But any of that two pwede.
And thank you, Engineer Verhel, for entertaining the questions given by the participants. I am positive that you have enlightened their minds exceptionally by sharing your insight concerning adversaries that are to be encountered in a chosen path and field of work.
Let us now proceed to the awarding of the certificate.
Certificate of appreciation. This certificate is awarded to Engineer John Manuel V. Verhel in grateful recognition for sharing invaluable knowledge in the field of water resources engineering as a resource speaker on the second day of the two-day webinar organized by fourth-year BSc SEP students in collaboration with TUPT ACES titled Elucedate, Journeying in the Realm of Civil Engineering, held on the 12th of March, year 2022.
Given this 12th day of March year 2022, signed by our department head, Dr. Emmanuel Ferrer, our section head, Dr. I. Gaya, ACES advisor, Engineer Jenny Siva, our ACES president, Mr. Reginald Bodegas, the BSc SEP 4A class president, Charmaine Dumayago, and lastly, BSc SEP 4B class president, Wency Valiente.
Let's have our photo opportunity with Engineer Verhel. All participants are encouraged to open their cameras and smile.
Okay, let's start in 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay.
Again, 3, 2, 1, smile.
And one more time in 3, 2, 1, smile.
And lastly, 3, 2, 1, smile.
Yeah. Thank you, Engineer Verhel, for your inspiring speech.
Thank you also, ACES, and to
Thank
the
you po.
officers. Very wonderful job.
Thank you so much. We're very honored po to have you.
Yes po. Grabe si Engineer, no? Ang talino ng pogi pa.
So now let us proceed to our third and last game. Partner, ano ka bang title ng ating last game?
For our last game, the title of our last game is Search It, Geotechnical and Water Resource Edition. Sige partner, basahin mo na ang our first mechanics.
Okay, our first mechanics is answer the following question, a hint, which is the meaning or the definition of unknown words will be in the form of sentence or picture located at the top side, of the slide. They're also given letters as additional clues. All participants are encouraged to join and supply their answers.
We, the house, will be reading the question first. Only answer provided after my partner's signal will be counted. Our designated officer will monitor the responses and the first correct answer will be announced. For the cash prize, each winner will get 50 pesos worth of GCash credit. To claim the prize, winner must provide the following information: full name, year and section, name of the university, and GCash account number, which should be sent to the Association of Civil Engineering Student TUP Taguig FB page.
Sige partner, simulan na natin.
For the last na palaro na ba natin to partner?
Yes, partner.
Okay, let's give an example before we start.
Okay. Sige partner, basahin mo na ang hint ng ating example.
Ang hint natin ay colorless, transparent, odorless liquid that forms the seas, lakes, river, rain, and is the basis of fluid of living organism. Ano partner tayo na magsagot?
Sige, ayun na, may nag-chat po sa ating chat box. So, let's see kung tama ba. What is the answer of our example?
Yes, water.
Yun,
okay.
Ganun lang siya kadali, partner. So, ganun pa rin. Hintayin pa rin yung signal natin ng go. Saka pa makakapag-send ng sagot. So, sige, let's start our first question or hint.
It is an analytical technique used to determine the particle size distribution of a granule material with microscopic granule size.
So, meron tayong two words. Sa unang word, meron S, B, and then sa second word, meron tayong A, S, and then S. So, in 3, 2, 1, Go! Type nyo na yan sa chat box.
Masasagutan mo doon kung nag-take ka ng real testing, tama ba?
Tama, partner. And ma-appreciate mo siya kapag face-to-face mo siya ginawa.
Kasi ito yung patong-patong eh.
Oo, tama, partner. Yung mga boy butas-butas.
Oo, tama.
May mga numbering pa yan, partner.
Tama. Yan.
Yun. So, sige, let's check kung ano ba ang tamang answer sa ating first question.
Sheaf analysis. Okay, hintayin na lang natin kung sino ang nanalo for the first round.
Tingnan natin, partner, sino ba ang lucky winner from, or rather, congratulations to Valientes Denmark from TUP Taguig.
You claim your prize by contacting our community.
So next question, partner. Ito yung hint natin. It is a place where a supply of something is collected, especially water. An example of it is a dam.
So may tatlong letter R siya. Ano kaya to?
Ano kaya yan, partner?
Natin sila sumagot. In 3,
2,
2, 1, go!
Sige. Type nyo lang yan, guys, sa chat box. Tingnan natin kung tama ba yung spelling. Siyempre, baka malito pa tayo sa spelling.
Natin, ang dami nilang sagot.
Ayan.
May mga nagsagot ng reserve 1. Tama kaya yun?
Tama kaya, partner?
Ay, may nakita na akong wrong spelling. Parang ma-egis siya.
Sige, partner. Pa-spell muna ako. Pa-spell. Ay, wait lang. Hindi pa natin nasasabi yung sagot.
Sige. Sabihin mo na natin yung sagot.
Okay. Edi, alam mo na yung spelling.
Ay, di mo na natin yung spelling.
Oo, tama. That's a good idea. So, what is the answer for second question? Reserve. Tama ba? Reserve ba ang pagkakita?
Yes, it's reserve 1. Yeah.
Galing sa ang accent yan, partner.
Filipino accent.
Okay.
Okay.
So, congratulations to Jordania Tresha May from MSC.
Okay, you can claim the prize by contacting our community. Let's proceed.
Let's proceed to our third question. Yan. Parang mahirap to, partner.
Blank is an empirical equation that relates the head loss or pressure loss due to a friction along a given length of pipe to the average velocity of the fluid flow or incompressive fluid. Again.
Blank is an empirical equation that relates the head loss or pressure loss due to friction along a given length of pipe to the average velocity of the fluid for an incompressible fluid. Parang napapakompute na ako. Nabasa ko pa lang yung question, partner.
Difficult lang ata to.
Oo nga, partner.
In 3, 2, 1,
go!
Ayun, may mga nakita tayo tama sa
Ayan, grabe.
difficult yarn.
Okay, sige. Meron daw tong partner na dash. Dapat. Ayan, sige. Sige, type nyo lang yung answers nyo, guys. Ayan. Sige, reveal na natin ang ating sagot. Ang ating answer for our third question is
Darcy-Weisbach equation.
Partner. Taga-saan kaya siya, partner?
Kung alam. Pero, ito yung sa topic natin sa hydraulics, tama ba?
Hydraulics na naman, partner. Kamusta ang hydraulics para sa'yo?
Uulitin ba natin? Di ba doon tayo nakalahati?
Hindi, I mean, yung difficulty ng subject para sa'yo.
Ang ano lang naman, pag nag-take kayo ng hydraulics is maraming formula, nakakabisaduhin.
Tama, partner.
Formula base siya, actually.
Ayun. So, congratulations sa ating winner na si Sorry. Ang ating winner ay si Telos Reyes Benz Alfred from TUP.
Okay, congratulations. Let us proceed. Next slide. For our fourth question, ito yung hint natin, movement of particle by series of short bounce along the force of the ground and dislodging additional particle with each impact. The bouncing particle ranging in size from 0.1 to 0.5 millimeter. Usually remain within 30 cm of the surface. Ang clue natin ay A, I, O. In 3, 2, 1, go! Saltation, vibration. Okay. Saltation. Saltation again. Okay, partner, reveal na ba natin ang sagot? Para
Yes,
madami
partner. Reveal na natin ang ating sagot.
Ang sagot is
Saltation.
Sino ang nakakuha ng tamang sagot on time?
Sige, habang hinihintay natin ng ating head committee sa ating answer. Meron ka bang sasabihin, partner? Meron ka ba isa shout out, partner?
Shoutout natin yung mga nanonood natin sa FB Live.
Yes.
From Mapua Institute and Asia Pacific College. Mga
Ayun.
nanonood.
Welcome, everyone. Congratulations to our winner from URS, Rachel Briones.
Hindi lang pala Mapua and APC ang nanonood sa atin sa live. Marami rin school like Adamson and UST.
And UST.
Yes.
Welcome po sa inyo and thank you for participating and supporting our webinar for today. So, for next question, the hint is these are a basic measure of the critical water contents of a fine-grained soil, its shrinkage limit, plastic limit, and liquid limit, depending on its water content. A soil may appear in one of 4 states, may be solid, semi-solid, plastic, and liquid. So, wait lang, wala pa tayong signal, guys. So, in 3, 2, 1, go! Type nyo na, guys, ang ating sagot. Ayan. Ayan, marami pa daw nanonood sa FB Live natin.
Okay.
Hello sa mga 46 viewers sa ating live. 46,000 natin.
Yeah. From Javier University, dalawa sila nanonood, si Celares and Timbal. Tsaka meron pa, shoutout, Kevin Cordinete from Vladimir Ariem Garcia. Hello.
Hello, welcome! So, i-reveal na natin ang ating answers sa ating question. The answer is
Utterberg limits. Okay, marami na ako ng tamang sagot. Sino nga ba ang nakauna? Partner?
sino ba ang panalo sa ating question number 5? Yan, habang wala pang announcement sa ating head committee, partner, ano bang naaalala mo sa Utterberg limit?
Walang partner, di ako nag-aaral masyado eh. Ikaw ba partner? May nakalala ka ba?
Naalala ko yung prof natin, partner.
Sinong pro partner?
Si Sir John.
Ay, oo, tama. Sir John nga.
Napakasipag ng ating prof sa pagtuturo ng geotechnical engineer.
Okay.
So, congratulations to, from NU, Deraya Rendel. Congratulations!
Sino ba
Okay.
yung last natin partner?
Yes, partner. Pero hindi
Okay.
pa natatapos dito ang lahat, partner.
Siyempre. Meron pa tayong raffle. Okay, before we end this, and before we start our raffle, again, to claim the prizes, winner must provide the following information: full name, year and section, name of the university, and GCash account number, which should be sent to Association of Civil Engineering Student, CUP Taguig FB page.
Now, we will proceed to the raffle draw event that everyone has been waiting for. We will give away a total of 500 pesos prizes to 5 lucky participants and a major prize with a total of 400 pesos to 2 lucky participants. So, let's see kung sino mga lucky winners sa ating raffle ngayong araw. Sana lahat ng mga makukuha natin sa raffle is present today.
We have gathered all the names of registered participant in the wheel of names. As soon as your name flashes on the screen, you have 10 seconds to type PRESENT or present on the chat box. Otherwise, you will spin again for another lucky participant. So, basic lang, no? Pag natawag ka, type ka lang ng present. Okay?
May 100 pesos ka na.
Or
partner.
200. Malaki na yun,
Oh,
di ba?
yun, 100 or 200. To claim the prizes, winners must provide the following information: full name, year and section or the name of the university, and GCash account and number, which should be sent to the Association of Civil Engineering Students from TUP Taguig FB page.
I know everyone excited. Kaya without any further ado,
Let's get started.
Spin na.
Spin na natin ang ating first winner.
Dami yung partner. Pero yung mga taga-USD parang di na kailangan, no? Parang tayo na lang dapat bigyan nila.
So, ayun na ang ating first winner. From Bet City 1A, from TUP Taguig, Kian Dilan Anyano. So, bigyan natin siya ng countdown, partner, sa pag-type niya ng present. No, para, syempre, lahat naman makatanggap. Ayan. Wala pa?
10 seconds?
10 seconds?
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And 1, 2. Ayun na pala.
Ay, hindi, partner.
Hindi siya yun eh.
Are you here, Ian? Sige, bilangan natin siya, partner. Silently naman. Tingnan natin. Wala daw, partner.
Di spin another again tayo.
Spin the wheel again. Pinaikot-ikot ka na ba, partner? Pinaikot-ikot
Hindi pa,
ka
partner.
na. Ay, hindi ba?
Hindi mo alam paikot.
Sana all.
Hindi tayo papaikotin for today's video. Okay?
So, for our first raffle winner,
Sayang yung kanina.
he or she is from University of Rizal System Morong Campus.
Ryan Christian G. Elacion.
Are you here? Andito ka po ba?
Person. Hala!
Ayun! Uy,
Parang hindi
ba
Ayan.
tayo?
Tapos spelling na. So, okay, contact our committee or ikaw ang contact nila, tama ka? Sila.
Mag-message ka po sa ating FB page for those who will win in our raffle.
Okay, let's proceed.
Let's proceed to our second raffle winner na mananalo ng tumataginting na
100 pesos.
100 pesos. Ayan. Ayan na nga po. Congratulations to President Ramon Magsaysay State University. He or she is Trisha May F. Cacho. Parang nakita ko siya kanina.
Nakita ko rin siya.
Ay, umalis na ba? Wala ba siya sa ating Zoom? Sa ating technical team?
Okay.
Wala daw po siya. She is not present.
Nawalan
daw ng internet. Okay. Sige. Okay, spin the wheel ulit tayo. Kuya Will. Ayan. So, partner, kamusta? Kamusta naman ang event na to? Kamusta ang pagpe-prepare ng event na to?
Okay, pero worth it naman. Kasi kita mo naman yung speaker natin, eh, sobrang gagaling. At
Ang galing.
pogi.
At pogi.
Tama.
Ayan. So, congratulations to University of Rizal System Morong Campus, Denise Borja.
Miss Borja.
Ayun. Wala daw po siya sa ating Zoom, so spin ulit tayo ng ating second winner.
Our second winner. Sorry, I'm late. May nag-chat. Good afternoon from Angela Noel Manuel.
It's okay. It's okay.
Please, di ba dumating ka? Yun naman importante dun eh.
Tama yun. Better late than never daw. Spin the wheel, Kuya Will, for our second win. Spin lang tayo ng spin.
Paranas po mapili.
With Lodge. Ayan. So, congratulations to Emmanuel Salvador from Bet City 1A.
Kaya siya.
Present ka kaya? From TUP Taguig? Okay, hindi daw po siya present. So, guys, Hintayin natin na mapili ang pangalan natin. Sige, let's spin the wheel. Kuya Will. Yan, ayan. So, our second winner, sana.
Nandito na siya. Rizal Technological University, Ken E. Gadinga.
And congratulations. Let's see. Ayan, ayan. Wala daw po siya sa ating group. Sadly. So, sige, Kuya Will. Spin the wheel. So, congratulations to Dante Bustamante from TUP Taguig. Andyan ka ba? Ayun, present! May napili rin, partner.
Sa wakas.
May pumayag rin. May pumayag rin.
Okay, let's proceed to the third.
Congratulations! So, our pangatlo na sa ating 100 pesos na prize sa ating raffle draw. Sino kaya siya, partner? Pwede ba tayo manalo dyan?
Yung partner, wala yung pangalan natin dyan eh.
Ay, wala ba? Congratulations to
Raven Garcia from BSCP 1B.
Ayun,
Andyan
from
ka ba?
TUP Taguig. Andyan ba sila? Andyan ba siya? Andyan ka ba, Raven? Pagalaw naman ng baso. Wala daw po, sabi ng head committee.
Okay. Again.
Sige, let's spin the wheel.
Ako na lang.
Ako na lang.
Sige, ikaw na lang. Ikaw na lang.
MSC
Sige
na
na lang.
lang.
Tama. From BSC.
Sam Barbie! Jojo
Jojo
Kamali. Andito ka ba? Say present naman kung andito ka. Andito ka ba? Let's see kung magpa-present. Ay, countdown! May countdown, may countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ay, wala daw siya. Partner, yung ginagamit ko kasing Zoom sa kanya daw yun.
Ay, kaya pala.
Bigay na lang daw po sa iba. So, ayan. So, for our next pangatlo sa ating raffle draw, ano kaya ang winner? Let's be the one! Okay, sige. Sana, naway.
Pero kung ba tayo competition? Wala na, di ba? Okay, our next winner is from BET City 3A, Shane Sapungan.
Sapungan.
Andito ka ba?
Ang swerte ng mga ng mga construction technology, laging nananalo. Andyan ba siya sa Zoom? Wala daw po.
Wala.
Sige, let's spin the wheel. Matatapos kaya tayo dito, partner.
Parang hindi na partner.
Let's see. Our third winner is Joshua Cordero from Bet City. Di ba laging Bet? Laging construction technology.
Tignan nga natin kung nandito.
Andito ba siya, partner? Wala daw po sa ating Zoom. Sige. For our third again. Na-raffle draw. Sino na kaya ang maswerte na? Nagdadasal na, partner. Ayan na. Malay mo, piliin rin tayo ng gusto natin.
From Adamson University, Vladimir R.M. Garcia. Tignan natin kung nandito siya.
Nandyan ba siya? Tingnan. Baka nasa FB Live siya, partner. Let's see kung nanonood pa siya. kung magpe-present pa. Diyan ka pa ba?
Start na tayo mag-countdown, partner?
10, 9. Okay,
Okay, present siya.
present siya sa ating FB Live. Congratulations! You may claim your prize by chatting the Facebook page of ACES.
Okay. Pangilan na yun, partner? Pangatlo na?
Pangatlo na.
For the last one? Last one na ba yan?
Hindi ba, partner?
May dalawa pa?
May dalawa pa for 100 pesos.
Okay.
Sige,
Spin the
Kuya
wheel.
Will, paano naman daw sa ibang school? Let's see, let's see.
From VSC, SEP 4A, Lance Santa Barbara. Okay. Tignan
Andyan
natin
ba
kung
siya?
andyan siya.
Present ba? Baka nagtitisis daw, partner. Baka nagtitisis. So, wala daw siya sa Zoom. So, next raffle draw tayo, Kuya Will.
Sayang, no? Daming ano.
Ayan, from other school partner.
From Rizal Technological University, Cruz Jane. Andiyan kaya siya?
Cruz, Jean or
Jane.
Jane. Andyan ka kaya?
Cruz Jane, galawin mo ang baso.
Ayan, say present kung nandito ka. Nandito ka kaya? Oops, mali ata yung ano na.
Mali ata yung...
Pang ano ata, pang social ata, pag here, ganun.
Baka mga pag taga-RTU, ganun siguro.
Social ata pag ganit, pag RTU. Ayan, present ba?
Consider ba natin
Present?
yan?
Present ba? Let's see, let's see. Ayun, dito po, present. Congratulations, Cruz Jane, for being our fourth winner sa ating raffle draw. So for our last raffle draw for 100 pesos, ikaw na ba ang pinili? Let's see. Let's see. Yan. From TUP Taguig, Burley Jessa de Robles. Andyan ka ba?
Present!
Uy, grabe,
Ang bilis!
agad, partner. Yun naman ang maganda.
Ang bilis.
So, congratulations, Burley Jessa de Robles from TUP Taguig for being our fifth winner sa ating raffle draw for getting 100 pesos. Congratulations. And now, ito na ang major prizes. For 2 lucky winners, meron tayong, magkano ba, partner?
200 per winner.
200 per winner. So, meron lang tayong, dalawang beses lang natin isispin ang ating spin the wheel.
Grabe yung Robles, no? Parang nagdadasal siya.
Oo.
Bilis
Ang
eh.
bilis eh.
Parang expected niya na. Ito siyang
Oo.
ano.
Alam niya na. So, sige, let's see, let's see. Ayan na. Shuffle na ng sobra-sobra ni Kuya Will.
Ako na po.
Ako na. Ayan na. Ikaw na, ikaw na. Ayan na. From URS, kaso baliktad ata yung RSC siya. No? Congratulations to Ritzel de la Cruz. Andyan ka ba? Say present kung nandyan ka. Andyan siya?
Bilangan na ba natin, partner?
Tingnan natin kung andyan na siya sa Zoom.
Paro G.
Ayan, countdown daw,
No.
countdown.
Sige, countdown na natin. 10,
9,
8,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
1.
Wala, partner. Wala siya. Sayang ang 200 pesos. Sige, let's see, let's see. Sana ako na. Sana ako na.
Akin na lang.
Ayan na. Ayan na, partner. From TUP Taguig, congratulations to Jim Petalvero. Wala daw po siya, partner. So, sayang yung 200. Sa recitation lang daw siya napipili. Same, parang ganun din ako.
Tama. Sige na, let's proceed na.
Ayan. Let's proceed.
Oh,
200, sayang to. Pinipili kahit wala sa pagpipilian, partner. Ayan. Congratulations! Kay Benz Alfred de los Reyes from BSc ISEP 4A. Andito ka ba, Benz? Are
Parang
you
last year
here?
seminar nanalo rin siya.
Parang kanina nga ata nanalo ata siya. Ayan,
Ayan,
present
present.
daw. Sana all.
Yan ang for
Ayan, congratulations. You will be receiving 200 pesos. For our last raffle draw worth of 200 pesos, pwede ka na magpa-Jollibee na to, partner.
Kaya nga eh.
So, ayan. Let's see. From TUP Taguig again, congratulations to Juvelin Rodriguez de la Peña. Andyan ka ba?
Wala.
Wala daw, partner. Wala sa Zoom.
Sayang 200 yun.
Sayang, partner.
Sige na, spin na natin. Kuya Will. From TUP again, RG Joven. Dito ka ba?
Wala daw,
Wala pa
partner.
rin.
Sayang yung 200. Sayang.
Oh, wait.
Ups.
Sino to? RG. Radam naman. Okay, so ulit.
Andyan ba siya? Sino ba yan?
Or reveal daw ng name
Ay,
ng
ayan
media
yung name
committee.
niya. Redam or G. Tama ba? Ayan. Present
Present.
daw, partner. Pasensya na po. Present. Siya ang nakatanggap ng huling premyo natin worth of 200 pesos.
Okay, congratulations. Again, to claim the prize, winner must provide the following information: full name, year and section, name of the university, and GCash account number, which should be sent to the Association of Civil Engineering TUP Taguig FB page.
And now, to formally end our today's webinar, let us have Dr. Edgar Aigaya, our section head, for his closing remarks.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. Naririnig po ba ako?
Yes po, Doc.
Okay, thank you. Before I give my closing remarks, I would like to congratulate first the organizers and the attendees of this webinar series. No, if you still remember, we started this type of webinar series last year, no, because of the pandemic. But before that, we are actually doing this face-to-face at school. No? We invited guests and let students from TUP Taguig attend the seminar. But because of the pandemic, we have to make it this type webinar series for the last 2 years. Fortunately for all of us, we invited some participants from other schools and other educational institutions around the Philippines. Shout out muna po sa mga participants coming from other schools and universities in and around Metro Manila. Meron po bang taga-FEU dito? Meron po bang taga-FEU? No? Kung meron pa ba? Kung meron, pakikamusta po ako kay Engineer Rem Hernandez, no? Dati ko po siyang naging estudyante sa doctorate program. Mga taga-PUP Manila, pakikamusta po ako sa president ninyo, si President Dr. Muhi. Dati ko rin po siyang naging estudyante sa doctorate program sa PUP Manila. No? Matanda na ako kaya mga nagiging estudyante ko medyo mga deans, president ng PUP, no? At saka sa Sino pa ba? Sa NU, shout out din yung mga taga NU. No? Meron din akong mga naging estudyante diyan na head naman ng research ngayon, si Dr. Ria Canlas. And siyempre sa aking alma mater, hello po sa mga taga Adamson University. Diyan po ako gumraduate ng aking BSCE. Huwag niyo nang itanong kung kailan, no? Kasi nasa sinapupunan pa siguro kayo, no? At any rate, again, thank you for the organizers, the TUPTASS, the Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering students, 4A and 4B. Last week was the first one, and this will be the second week. And in cooperation or in partnership with the TUP Taguig ACES, no? Truly, you have imparted knowledge in geotechnical engineering and water resources, no? Siguro magbigay lang ako ng konting parang sharing, no, regarding geotechnical engineering. Nasagot naman ito ng mga speakers natin kanina. Sabi nga natin sa objective, ano ba ang role or responsibility ng civil engineer? Dalawa lang naman yan talaga in reality. That is to construct or make a structure that is safe and sound and economical. So saan ba nagsisimula ang safety ng isang structure? Siyempre, tulad ng sinabi ng ating speaker kanina, sa foundation, no? Because diyan lahat naka-base ang strength, load ng isang structure. So yung foundation naman, kailangan pag-aralan natin yung soil profile nito o yung soil characteristic nito para tumama yung ating design sa foundation, no? Whether it's a file foundation, mat foundation, isolated, footing, so forth and so on, no? Depende kasi sa character o characteristic ng soil. Yun yung pinaka-important aspect ng geotechnical engineering. Sa water resources naman, siyempre, water resources, sabi nga nila, infinite daw yung volume ng water. But kung hindi natin aalagaan yung volume ng water, there will be a time that yun, katulad din ng sinabi ng isang speaker, baka bilihin na natin yan ng mas mahal pa. No? At pahirap ng pahirap yung pag-produce ng clean water. So yun naman yung dapat natin alagaan. So parang naka-tie up talaga tayo doon. So again, my congratulations. Hindi ko na patatagalin dahil alam ko naman na medyo very lengthy din yung preparation. But I am posting this challenge to the incoming graduating students next year, the BSCE, SEP 3A and 3B ngayon, that they will be the one who will be preparing for the seminar or webinar. Palagay ko seminar na kasi meron ng go signal coming from the IATF o yung Interagency Task Force for COVID na binibigyan na ng go signal to have 100% face-to-face classes. May mga requirements lang that the students who will be attending face-to-face classes must be a holder of a PhilHealth or dependent siya ng merong yung parents niya o yung guardians niya ay may PhilHealth parang insurance. So yun yung isa sa basic, hindi lang basic but rather the requirement bago mag-conduct ng 100%, meaning lahat na, no? May go signal na. So happy na ba tayo? Siguro in a way, because I still remember 2 years ago, it was exactly March 10 or March 11. March 10 yung last day ng physical attendance sa school. March 11 of 2020, hindi na tayo pinapasok, faculty and students hindi na pinapasok sa TUP Taguig at that time. No? So that will be it. I wanted to thank the speakers for the webinar series. Ang hirap ng team ninyo, no? Elucedate. Ano ba yung ano ninyo, team? Elucedate. Journeying the realm of civil engineering. No? Talaga naman, ang civil engineering, pag-take ng civil engineering is really like a journey. No? And puro na lang project study ang naririnig ko kanina. noong natatandaan ko, nung nagtuturo ko ng project studies sa 3B, 4B na ngayon, no, parang binabaliwala nila sa una. Tawa-tawa lang. No? Pero ngayon, hindi ko lang alam ngayon kung makatawa pa sila. Lalo na pag makapag-defend na sila in the coming weeks. No? Approximately 2 to 3 weeks from now. Again, thank you very much, and congratulations to the organizers, the UPT ACES, BSCE, SEP 4A, BSCE, SEP 4B. Again, posting the challenge. Sana yung 3A and 3B this year ay maging international na yung seminar natin o webinar. No? Meron na tayong invited speakers coming from abroad and participants coming from abroad. No? O kaya magkaroon ng tie-up sa other universities like kanina nakikita ko marami tayong student participants from Rizal Technological University, meron ding URS, University of Rizal System, FEU, NU, Adamson. Magandang magkaroon din ng tie-up para mas malaki yung maging audience sa susunod na mga taon. And keep the traditions going. Ito ay naging tradisyon na ng BSCE. No? Tayo lang ata yung nag-umpisa nito sa different courses sa university. Tayo yung nagsimula, tayo rin sana yung makapagpa-improve pa ng ganitong klase ng activities. Kudos to everyone, and may the good Lord provide you the needs, no, na kailangan ninyo in your studies, in your life, and other things na mangyayari sa buhay ninyo in the near future. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
And thank you very much, Dr. Edgar I. Gaya. We appreciate your presence and support for today's webinar. We wish you a good health and God bless.
Before we end our program, let us have our TUP hymn, music by Professor Romeo P. Baraya Sr., and Filipino version by Professor Emerita R. Baraya.
Before we part, we have some final announcements.
A reminder for the winners of the games in raffle to message the Association of Civil Engineering Students TUP Taguig with their full name, year, and section, or the name of the university and GCash account and number.
All participants who requested e-certificates will be sent to your email respectively after a week this webinar.
So, yung isasend po naming e-certificate is free and it will be emailed to you a week after this webinar. Again, a week after this webinar po. For the attendance of today's event, we will be sending a link in the chat box and you may scan the QR code for easy access on your screen for the evaluation form of this webinar, which is to be filled by the attending participants only. The evaluation form will only be available 30 minutes after the session. Failure to answer the evaluation form will not be able to get the e-certificate and be considered absent.
This webinar entitled Elucedate, Journeying the Realm of Civil Engineering Day 2 of Geotechnical and Water Resource Engineering marks the end of the fourth-year students of Bachelor of Civil Engineering event for the month of April. We hope that everyone enjoyed their time.
Please like our FB page and stay tuned for further announcement and events like this in the future.
Again, thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Leonard Fontanilla.
And I am Janelle Sanajo.
Your host for today's webinar. We hope you enjoyed and learned a lot.
Stay safe. Thank you and God bless.